This meeting will come to order. The time is 1 p.m. I'm Donna McGowan, the president of the HOA. Also attending are Judy Glover, vice president, Dan Evans, the treasurer, Larry May, our secretary, Danny Matthews, our director at large, and Kimberly DeVos, our Waccamaw community manager. A quorum has been met, and Kimberly will be the recording secretary. Welcome, everyone. This is a Zoom meeting, so please remain as quiet as possible so everyone is able to hear the proceedings. The first item of business is to ratify approval of the minutes for March 16 and April 13. Are there any corrections to the minutes? Guys?
No.
If there's no corrections, the minutes are approved. The next item of business is the approval and ratification of actions of the board. Is there a motion to approve the board actions?
I make that motion. Second.
All in favor?
Oh, sorry. Aye.
The actions are approved. The next item of business is the reading of the president's report. Since our last board meeting in March, there has been a lot of work, fun, and other activities at Oyster Harbor. This place has been rocking. Some of these activities are the pool opened. Exercise at the pool has resumed on Mondays and Fridays mornings at 9:30. Yoga is now available in the clubhouse on Wednesday mornings at 8. There was a wiffle ball tournament, craft show and car show, coexisting with alligator presentation, a safety and preparedness town hall, another new member orientation, a fishing presentation by the North Carolina wildlife officers, a new fishing policy at Heron and Eagle Ponds was effective May 1, a wine and charcuterie social event, Cinco de Mayo party with taco bar. Additional riprap has been installed at lined ponds to protect exposed liner spots, and pond banks have been mowed. Volunteers installed a new basketball goal. Volunteers cut low-hanging limbs at roadside swales for the mowers, and volunteers continue to repair and improve common areas. Some of the business initiatives that the board has been involved with in the last couple of months, we've been investigating and using better investment opportunities for HOA CDs. We've been reviewing HOA insurance policies to ensure adequate coverage and to mitigate spending. We've been handling delinquencies very aggressively and turning bad debt into revenue. We want to make a shout out at all of our committees and other volunteers. Thank you for all of your hard work and all you do for Oyster Harbor. It's appreciated, and in many cases, it saves HOA funds. A heads up, the nominating and election activities will be commencing soon, and there will be some budget workshops for the next year budget. Sadly, we lost a good friend last night. Barry August passed away at hospice in Bolivia. So please keep the family in your prayers. Thank you. Okay, the next item of business is the reading of the treasurer's report.
Thank you, Donna. My name is Dan Evans. I'm the treasurer. The treasury report is as of March 31st, 2023. We probably will get the financials for April this week. So this is Wednesday. We only got 2 more days this week. So we'll have a better understanding of April when we get the financials. But this is through March. And you all have copies there, so you can just read along. The total operating cash as of the end of March was $340,976. The ARC totals, 150,464. The total, operating due from reserves is 25,696. We got to move the 25,000 from operating into reserve. Total assets as of the end of March was $517,136. The total reserve as of the end of March was $1,240,187. Two portions of this, the 2023 reserve contribution was deposited in January, and that was $262,589. We have the whole commitment from operating into the reserve effective January 2023. There was a surplus back in 2021 of $23,229. That was deposited to the reserve in February of 2023. Operating expenses. I can read all those if you'd like. The maintenance is under pool, clubhouse, landscaping, and facility. For March was $14,092. That's what we paid out. The year-to-date number is $41,097 through March. We are under budget by $5,005. In administrative, we paid out $16,346 in March. Year to date, we've spent $38,246. Good for administrative expenses. We are under budget by $8,807. The reason why we're under budget for that is because if you look at the asterisk down at the bottom, the bad debt expense hasn't been charged for January through March, and the debt expense is $6,750. So that under budget would be dramatically reduced if and when the financial people will charge you for the bad debt expense. That came from the auditor. Operating expenses for utilities, security, other would be reserves. We paid out $28,472. Year to date, we've paid out $324,793. We're over budget by $37,678. Now, that may seem like a huge number, but if you look down at the double asterisk at the bottom, the reserve that was the surplus for 2021 is accounted as an expense for financial purposes. So the $23,229 is treated as an expense on the balance sheet. Plus, we paid out $11,463 in March for security, for the gate security contract. Probably shouldn't have done that. Not quite sure why we did, but it was done. So that's why we have the 37,000 over budget for the operating. Overall, total operating year to date is $404,000, and the surplus is $23,866. Go to the second page. What was expense paid out of reserves through March. In March, we had three items: the riprap for the pond and the timer, $12,445. We're still playing little drips and drabs of the wood decking at the dock, $527 comes dripping in. And non-capital reserve expense was $1,940. Total for the reserve out year to date is $14,912. Delinquencies. That looks like a big number. $134,494.59. The good news is $65,200 of that is people that haven't paid their dues for 2023. Okay. That's the second. You see the second line, second notice, 60 days out. Our process is to send them a notice saying, oops, you forgot, you got to pay your dues. And so we send out second notices to the worth $65,200. And we'll get most or all that back. We're pretty, there may be a 10%, and there might be a 10% that is lagging as usual, but I mean, that happens. But that's 134 is going to be dramatically reduced as soon as we get our dues paid for 2023. We have 8 liens filed to date, 38,461. Now that's through March. I bet we've changed that number some, I think, through in April. I don't have those numbers. In foreclosure, we have 4 lots that are foreclosed on for 26,323. So that's delinquencies. 2 dates that you all want to keep in mind. June 10th and June 17th, we're going to be having the budget meeting for the residents for input for the 2024 budget. So write that down. It's June 10th and June 17th. They're Saturdays at 10 a.m. Please be here. We're meeting with Waccamaw on, let's see if I get that date, on, which they don't know about yet, but they're hearing about it now. On the 5th, on June 5th, we're meeting with Waccamaw to get some input from them, good input. And then the 10th and the 17th of June are the when we get input from you all. And that's all for the treasury report.
Thank you. The committee reports will be read now. The first one, ABC POA. I'm a representative and Larry is also a representative on that committee outside of the ones that we have here. This one is a county committee. And a few of the projects that are currently going on with that group. There is a UDO committee and Danny is representing us on that. It's going to be a long-term project. The UDO is the unified, it's like a big arc. It's a lot of the building requirements, the construction requirements for construction in the county. And it has caused quite a stir with all of these new private developments. And there is a committee that is formed now under the ABC POA to try to push back on that. But we know that the county planning office isn't thinking about changing the UDO for a while, but we're just drumming up some steam right now to be able to deal with that. Another committee is just beginning again after several years on the ABC POA. It's a roads committee, and it's headed up by Ocean Ridge, and Danny is going to represent us on that. I understand it's just getting underway. I don't know if we've had any meetings yet. That's good. Okay. But that's going to be a nice kind of a committee where everyone in the communities that are having road construction issues can talk to each other and learn things and try to do the best and spend the less money. The ABC POA is also going to be tracking a couple of house rules that legislature in the state has put out there. A couple of them are directly related to HOAs, and one of them is to try to change the liens and foreclosures process that we go through. This is something that had come up many years ago. Some people thought that we shouldn't be doing those kinds of things, but as you were listening about the debt that's owed by some of us, we are using those kinds of activities to get our money back. But there is some legislature out there to monkey with that a little bit. The other one is about oversight for HOAs. There has been at least one HOA recently that has done something that their community didn't like. And that generated an idea that maybe somebody's got to look at making sure HOAs are not bigger than their britches and are following the rules, the laws of the state. There was also a FEMA training offered by the ABC POA, and I believe our committee, the Safety and Preparedness Committee, attended that. And the last thing is that I think you've heard me for many months saying that attendance at the ABC POA has dropped off. We're still trying to determine how to get that going again. There has been a turnover because of different elections in our communities. That may be part of it. But there was a survey done, so we're still trying to do something to generate that, because as you can tell by all of the things that they're tracking, it's a very important advocate for all of the HOAs. We do have queries that we get from them. Many times the board will want to know about something that is probably going on in another community, or maybe we want to know what vendor they're using for something. So that's very active. We're getting a lot of that kind of action, but it's people showing up at the meetings that's been lacking. And that's all I have on them. They'll be meeting again in June. And that will be a Zoom meeting. And then in July, DOT will be speaking, and I may invite you to go to that, okay, or anybody here that wants to on the board. The next committee is the ARC, and I don't think anyone is here from the ARC. I'll read their report for May 2023. Presently, 30 homes under construction in various stages of builds and submittals. 2 builds have recently been completed and passed final inspection. The ARC is also waiting for final inspection documents from 2 builders. They met with the Oyster Harbor Technology Committee regarding updating submission of new build paper construction plans to digital format. They want to go paperless as much as they can, or electronic. They're waiting to hear from the tech committee regarding their request for help. During the past 60 days, the Oyster Harbor ARC Committee conducted numerous pre-construction lot walks with builders. In addition, they approved the following: several roof replacements, several homeowner requests to remove dead and diseased trees, addition of a backyard fence, the request to install a raised flower bed, request to build a backyard shed, and a request to replace a front porch. Okay. The next committee is boats and docks.
I'm Bruce Baker, Boats and Docks Committee Chairman. We got a couple things going on. We need to complete the installation of bumper rails on the floating docks, and courtesy of the Safety Committee, we now have life rings for each one of the docks. So we need to get those installed. We've gotten all of the 2023 boat storage agreements. Boat storage, we added another boat in there this week, so we're completely full as of right now. And we issued approximately 70 ramp usage stickers, which to me seems a little low. We'll keep an eye on that and see exactly how much activity we have. Activities that are kind of out in the future based on a budget is staining and sealing the synthetic surfaces on the walkways, and we also continue to monitor the boat ramps. We have no budget issues, no changes in committee members. Well, except for Barry, I guess.
Okay. The clubhouse committee, Carla. Anybody? Look, nobody else from her committee. Okay.
I can read this.
Okay.
I'm the liaison. Chairperson is Carla. Current, no report at this time. Committee has not met since last report. That's a report. The one thing that the clubhouse committee wanted to do was to auction off some items here in the clubhouse and out there. And I don't know, we have a list from her back 3 months ago. I know we haven't had the auction, and I don't know the status of if and when that's going to happen. But it's in play. We just don't know quite sure when it's going to occur.
Thank you. The communications committee.
Speaking from Mary
Communications.
Sorry.
Speaking for Bert.
Want me to read it?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
More than willing to hand it over to you. Okay.
Okay, for the wait a minute, wrong one. Communications Committee. Let's see, okay. Activities and projects completed since last report, published the first issue of the new Pearl. And created a new login landing page for member home. Implemented automatic inactivity logout for the website. Basically means if you go into it and you're not using it, it's gonna cut you off after a period of time. You can't leave the park open all night, so. Purchased additional gear for the Zoom meetings. Those things are not pretty things over there. They actually have a function to them. Activities projects planned to start within the next 6 months. Explore email and document management solutions for the board and committee chairs. To purchase handheld microphones for Zoom meetings, making it easier for people to be able to talk and not have to come to a specific location. Budget issues, current operating budget issues, none. Reserve budget issues, none. Committee purpose membership changes. Mary Sands has resigned from the committee, and we'd like to thank her for her service on the committee. And that's it.
Thank you. Facilities planning.
Good afternoon. Dave Sherrillo, Chairman of the committee. Current activities project status. We completed our first draft of the 2023 reserve listing, as well as updating the proposed reserve expenditures for 2023. Those have been distributed to the board for our discussions. And we will continue to monitor those over the course of the year. If you remember, there were 5 versions of it last year. We expect that to be the same this year as well. It's a living document. It changes from time to time. The other thing, and we mentioned this during our town hall meeting, the committee is going to begin looking at alternate sources of revenue. And we're going to first look at state law and our covenants and find out what we can do, and then discuss alternate sources of revenue so that we can fund our reserve. No other changes at this time. Thank you.
Okay. Landscaping.
Okay, landscaping committee, activities and projects that have been completed since the last report. Number 1, they finished cleaning around all the ponds. Number 2, they finished edging all roadsides. 3rd, put down pine straw at the entrance of the community. 4th, they trimmed the hedge at the entrance and at the water park. They fertilized the grass at the entrance. And activities and projects plan to start within the next few months as they will plant seasonal flowers at the entrance. Trim trees at the clubhouse, these trees out here, but they're going to get buckets to come out here to trim some of those. Regular maintenance, removal of vines within the shrubbery around the pool area. And current activities and project status on an ongoing basis, as you mentioned. Several of the men in the community have volunteered to trim low-hanging branches down the swales so that a little better appearance and enables the landscaping not to have to weave in and out as they cut grass.
Thank you. Member orientation. No.
Hi, Llewellyn Brademan. I'm reporting on behalf of Marianne Iden and Judy George for new member welcome and orientation committee. Current ongoing activities, we're in reviewing what took place with our 3rd meeting that was held on April 25th and learning from that, and an idea to create an introduction letter to Oyster Harbor and the community that would be included in the HOA packet from Waccamaw. Activities completed since the last report was our April 25th event. That was the 3rd one for new member welcome and orientation. We had 29 invitees, 16 invitations were sent via email, and 13 sent through the snail mail. 9 people attended, representing 6 new homes already built or underway. The survey results we got were positive, with most people liking the art and website information, followed by information on activities that take place in the community. Activities projects planned to start in the next 6 months. We'll be meeting to prepare for our next or fourth event for member welcome orientation, which is tentatively scheduled for sometime in October. Budget issues, current none, reserve none, and no changes in committee membership since last report. Thank you.
Thank you. Ponds and fountains.
Hi, my name is Jim McGowan. I'm the chairperson for the Ponds and Fountains Committee. The riprap project for the lined ponds has not been completed. There's a small amount of riprap that is needed for Palmetto Pond so that Total Lake Care can finish the project. There were a couple fountain lights out on Palmetto Southeast Fountain, and I know I talked to Total Lake Care about that, and the bulbs in there will be replaced. The north fountain at Cardinal is still not operational. Since the fountain motor is under warranty, it was necessary to remove the motor and send it to the factory for repair. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the factory is either in Minnesota or Wisconsin. Total Lake Care has contacted the factory a number of times to try and speed up the process. I was told that the motor should be repaired and returned to us soon. I don't know what the definition of soon is. Total Lake Care will install the repaired motor as soon as they get it back from the factory. And I do have an update to all that, if you bear with me for a second. Yesterday evening, I sent a text to Richard Black, the owner of, or one of the owners of Total Lake Care, and his response was, well, first, let me read my message. I said, hi, Richard, do you have a time frame for finishing the riprap at Palmetto? The board is questioning me as to when it will be finished. Also, do you have an update about the motor for the fountain at Cardinal? And he said, hey, Jim, yes, I do. I was waiting to install the Cardinal motor and finish the riprap at the same time. And I finally received confirmation today that the repaired unit, that's the fountain motor, has been shipped and is on its way to Total Lake Care. As soon as we get it, Thursday or Friday, that's tomorrow or Friday of this week, our first job will be to finish the riprap and to replace the motor, the repaired motor at Cardinal. Thanks, and I'll let you know. That's all I have. Some good news at the end.
Safety and preparedness.
I'm Bob Wilson, co-chair, along with Leanne Winslow. We have a golf cart policy, which is in preparation in its final stages to be presented to the board soon. We have a contact form for the residences for emergency contacts, and Leanna has copies of that. If anybody wants to fill one out after the meeting, she'll be available for that. We have a disaster preparedness policy, which we have sent to the board for its approval. And that is in its final revisions and approval. We have met with Brunswick Electric Co-op and have talked about the redundancy in the neighborhood, the amount of time the power would be out as they anticipate, and things that we as residents should be doing in case of storms. Our refrigerator list of checkoff list that you may remember is in its final edits and is ready to be distributed. Thanks to the ABC POA, I attended the FEMA course, When Disaster Strikes, Prepare, Act, and Survive. And I would like to present to the board a copy of the booklet for the course. And if the board would like to pass that around, and then when everybody's finished with it, just put it in the library for the community at large to review. So that is a permanent copy. We have the FEMA medical list, which is in preparation. This is something that can be downloaded from the internet, and we are suggesting that people download this, put it in a refrigerator vial in their refrigerator, and we're working on getting some stickers and some tape to announce to the any first responders and so on. And that is FEMA, it's Form 1094. If anybody wishes to just go out on Google, take a look at it and download it. So I'll give this to the board also for their use. Okay.
When does that document can be downloaded to the website, to our website?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I don't know what you had to do with it, but have you already done, you're working on that, aren't you?
No, Bob will tell you, the document, things he's talking about, put on the website.
But the easiest way on that particular form is just go to Dr. Google and download it and fill it out. There's even a PDF form available that one can get. So we are recommending that individuals fill that out in case of medical emergencies within their home, in case of disaster. And it's confidentiality is guaranteed because individuals fill it out and then just keep it on site themselves. The committee has no interaction with it whatsoever. We are starting to work on a traffic control and safety policy to be developed. And we have an oyster pearl article in preparation, and that should be to those folks by the end of the weekend. So that is being done. And we are working on first aid courses other than Red Cross for the community, for the committee and the committee chairs and the community at large. So we're doing a few things.
Your committee's doing a wonderful job. You're a new committee and you have done a lot since we
Established that, and your town hall meeting was wonderful. You're gonna keep us safe.
We are trying.
Thank you.
The next report is for social committee.
Looks like that would be me. All right. I'm reading this for Carla. The next event. Well, ongoing. We actually had a arts and crafts show on May 13th and had complimentary ice cream. Excuse me, provided by the social committee and actually hand delivered to the people who were showing their cars by Barbara Puglisi, which was really nice. The next big thing is the Memorial Day celebration on Monday, May 28th, 3:00. Grilled hamburgers and hot dogs at the clubhouse provided by the social committee. Hank Gallagher, as usual, is our grill master. July 4th celebration will be on Tuesday the 4th, 5:00, barbecue, live music at the water park, 5:30 to 8:30, followed by local fireworks. Activities projects completed. The charcuterie sampling and wine tasting on 14th of April for 58 paid participants. And it was a big success. And I understand a lot of people wanted to know when they're going to do it again. So I'm sure they will soon. The wiffle ball tournament was on April 23rd. And there were 70 paid participants chaired by Mike Chironi. And that was also a big success.
Who won that, Judy?
Was it Dan's Dynamo?
Dan's Dynamo won it?
Dan's Dynamo. Yes.
So you're buying the bar, is that what you're saying?
They also had a Cinco de Mayo taco bar party on 5/5. There were 49 attendings. That got great reviews. The social committee provided beef and chicken tacos with all the trimmings and sides, and the attendees provided delicious desserts. Plan for the next 6 months. See everything I read above. Budget issues, none. Thank you.
Structures and grounds. You have someone who's structures and grounds?
Yeah, I'll read it. I am the liaison in for that one as well. So, I thought Bill was back.
Yes.
Yes.
So he just put it on there. All right, thanks for showing up, Bruce. Okay, structures and grounds is, just so you folks know, there's a lot goes on within this community, but this group has the most going on by far.
Except for the art.
I'm not
And safety
sometimes I'm not trying-
And six, preparedness, yeah, safety. So come on.
Never mind, I was trying to say that never happened, okay? But current activities and projects, putting out and taking out the clubhouse trash and recycling cans, that happens every week, and sometimes waste management misses us, and they just didn't do it. Monitoring the streetlight performance, that's a big deal, because there are a lot of streetlights to look at. And so it is the nighttime golf time pleasure ride. Exactly. Maintaining clubhouse, the guardhouse flags of the red flag and the state flag. John does a great job at that. Activities and projects completed since the last report to the board. Replaced toilet paper holder in the men's pool house room. Very fast. Painted over the unused handicap spaces in the clubhouse parking lot. Ryan, thank you very much for doing that. Replaced motion switch in ladies clubhouse bathroom. The ladies probably have noticed that it was not working quite properly. And thanks to Scott Reed for doing that, Bill Puglisi as well. Replaced the pool shower spigot, refaced the clubhouse garbage can storage post. That's right behind me. Time had gotten it, and it took a lot to rebuild it, and Bill did that on his own. Installed command hooks in the library. Solicited additional vendor quotes for the Oyster Harbor structures pressure washing. I know he's met with 2 other ones. Purchased and installed battery and pad replacements for the clubhouse defibrillator. Dick, thank you so much for being persistent on taking a year to get a replacement batteries, but you stayed on.
At least a year.
Provided the guardhouse window dimensions for the board of directors for covering them, allowing additional storage area for Oyster Harbor. Just so you know what that is, it's been suggested, and we are in process with that, of looking at putting a tinning on the window so you can't see in the guardhouse anymore, but obviously you could still see out. That tinning is underway, so if anyone is talented, feels the desire to help us put that up, we would love to have your assistance. Replace the corner post at the garbage can storage area for less than $100. Activities projects planned to start already and or have started. Work with the board of directors on the pool house storage expansion. Assist the board of directors with any major items where S&G has the skill and labor to do it. Install shelving at the guardhouse for additional storage. Review guardhouse window covering options, decide and install. Replace, install kick and sweep bar on the pool storage room door. Place, repair facial boards of the water park gazebo. The estimate was around $230. Replace the pool hose and snake out the pool shower drain. S&G has tried and need a vendor to do it. That is a priority. We're just waiting for the plumber to get that done. Clean out, this is quite a list. Clean out all the pool house drain pipes, carpenter bees, drilling into the pool, so need a vendor. Dry well for pool deck has been excavated, needed to fill with fabric and rocks. Repair, replace dead man post at entrance and back gate. Will come up with a better solution. Clean gutter downspouts of the pool house. Budget issues, current operating budget, there are none. Reserve budget, none. Committee changes or none.
I think like that. Okay.
There's a lot.
There's a lot more to come. This group is very active, so if you have some spare time, we could use you. Thank you.
Thank you. The tree committee?
Okay, I'm reporting from Marty, who is on vacation. Every other month, review of lots looking for downed trees and large branches. a notification to Waccamaw, so lot owners can be contacted for cleanup. And I would ask if anybody sees any trees that are down, because sometimes it happens, we miss them, or before we can get to it, it comes down. Please let Marty or me know, so we can get the letters out to the lot owners and ask them to clean it up, because it really looks kind of pretty. Activities, projects completed. An additional report went to Waccamaw for tree issues. There were quite a few that were reported to Waccamaw. A lot of them have been taken care of, which is nice to see that everybody's jumping on that. And we'll continue to do that because it's obviously a problem. We have lots of dead wood and trees hanging around. Activities, projects planned to start with next month. See the current budget issues, none, reserve issues. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item of business is unfinished business. The first item, update on ponds and their landscaping, the riprap restoration project and the mowing. I think that was handled by both of the committee report. And I don't think we have anything else to do with that right now. We'll be watching to make sure that Thursday or Friday that Total Lake Care handles both of those other activities. The next unfinished business, the 2023 fishing policy became effective May 1st. NC Wildlife was here for a community meeting on our fishing in our ponds. There's now signage in place. Danny, did you want to mention about that presentation or anything?
Well, I will tell you that, we had a good group. We had probably a group of about 35, well attended. We were also well represented by North Carolina Wildlife. They sent 4 officers to do this presentation for us. And they were very, had great information to give us, to support us, to understand what things they can do to help us through that. They have offered to come back if we need them in any capacity or any way. And they are very much attuned with the community and what we're doing through this whole policy change. So I just couldn't, I was shocked when I looked and there were 4 officers here. We had the regional supervisor and 3 of the officers assigned to Brunswick and Columbus County to speak to us. If you were able to attend it, I think you walked away very informed and very happy with the information.
Good. Still under unfinished business, the last item.
Tom, before you, can I mention one thing on the last side, the signage?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim Lunch, for great job at helping us with that. Saved the association a ton of money. And he did all the vinyl work for all the signs. And we were able to, as a group, find good pricing on the signs. So that's an important thing for what we're trying to do. But more than anything, I just want to ask and make sure that if you haven't seen it, please go take time to look. The 2 ponds that are now open are clearly marked, and the parking areas are clearly marked. I would just always enjoy the signage with the arrow off of healing water. It goes down the concrete path that tells you parking's on the other end. So if you're going in, the parking for Eagle is down at the other end in the cul-de-sac side. So if you haven't seen it, please go take a look. And there are more to come. There are bike racks that are coming. Lamar is helping me with that project right now. So we're looking to do that as well.
Great. Thank you. The preparedness town hall that was held with representatives from Brunswick County Emergency Services and Brunswick County Sheriff's Department. Do you want to speak to that?
I can speak to that, or do you guys want to talk about it? Okay. Town hall, we had great representation of the acting director of the Brunswick County Emergency Operations Center was here, as well as we had the Sheriff's Department well represented, and Bob's raising his form over there. Okay, and bottom line on this was we've got these local first responders and the key government officials for the local area here to talk about preparedness. Everything that they mentioned and briefed has been well represented, will be represented in our plans, but these folks on this committee are making available. It'll be made available on the website under their committees. I'll be working with Bird on that to get these things posted and linked to, but preparedness is the key here. And I think you'll see as you hear what they're saying and you see the products and things that they have that was talked about in this town hall, was that as a community, we have taken great steps, and this committee has taken great steps to make sure that preparedness is something that's not just one of those things that you worry about after something has happened. There's a lot of information, and just like to reinforce all those steps. Bob has attended the course that he went to, but he's also working with the ABC POA groups as well. And in that, as he collaborates with other HOAs, I think you said that you're pretty far ahead of what they're trying to do in this community. So if you know the members here in the committee, say thanks to those folks, but also keep them in mind too, because they're putting a lot of work into this. But the town hall was exceptional. I think we had really good representation here and a lot of good information. So, and the briefing slides are available too if you want to see them about time. Just a lot of great information.
Thank you. The next item of business is new business. We have two new items on that list. The first is cameras and internet systems for security monitoring. I'm going to ask Danny and then Larry to bring up some points about that.
Well, we have put a lot of time and effort in trying to understand and what direction to go with the security of the neighborhood, which is the safety and preparedness. And I want to echo everything you've said. That committee has been amazing what they've done so far, and they are ahead of a lot larger neighborhoods. And you guys, the effort y'all done has been amazing. So with that, if you know our system at all, it's very old. If you know anything about computers at all, you realize it was probably outdated the day we bought them. But what we have, we just want to make sure the community knows that we are having a lot of issues with the software that was purchased in 2010 not being, what's the word that I want to use? In fact, I said, well, it's not even compatible. I think I got up the other day. I got a bullet for this thing. I shut the jukebox. Well, I'm going to shoot the computer because it keeps crashing on us. And because of that, we've had to go back and look at other options, and we are diligently looking at that. And we just wanted you folks to know that the protection of this community is what that security system is all about. If our gates would get damaged, anything happens at any point of this property, and we don't have eyes on it, then it costs us. So this is a very, very important part of what we're looking at. And just stay tuned because there's some really good information coming, and I think you'll be very pleased with it.
Just to thank you. It's a great job, Danny. Just to piggyback on what he said, our security systems and how we use them, it is a great deterrent, I think, for those outside our community, and it is a great second line of defense, because that's what it really is. Because you and I, everyone within the sound of my voice, and if they Zoom meetings later on, are the first line of defense for events and things that happen within our community that are not nice things. If you haven't heard, we've had an event about a week and a half ago where there was a theft of a job site. We've had issues not too far in the distant past with break-ins to vehicles and those things. And so it's incumbent upon us as the first line of defense for anything that we see, whether it be a job site, whether it be a next door neighbor, or whether we see out in the community, if this looks like it's not something good, we need to report it as individual members of this community. If it looks bad, 911 to the sheriff's department. That's part of all these town halls is to communicate with them, and they will send over a unit to look into that matter. So if it rises to that level, you have a concern about it, it needs to be reported to the police department, to the sheriff's department. If it doesn't rise to that level, and you've seen this in the messaging that came out after that event a week and a half ago, you're concerned about it, you're not sure about it, if it's a suspicious vehicle, something that just does not seem right, reach out to a board member or the safety committee, because what we want to do is we want to get as much information as possible. If you see vehicles driving through the area, cruising by the work job sites, or looking just out of place or whatever, we're not asking you to get in the middle of any of this stuff, no confrontations or put yourself at risk and such. But at the same time too, the old adage of see something, say something is very much alive, and that's what we need within our community. We are the community watch, each of us. So we are the first line of defense for something that looks bad, and or you're not sure, you just want to report it. Because I can almost guarantee you, if something's happening within our community, you can just about bet it's happening in other communities as well, or the potential is out there for it. So don't hesitate, reach out to the safety and preparedness committee. You all know who they are, or reach out to me or send it to a board member and communicate with us, and then we'll find out the information. We will ask information. We'll take sort of a little mini report, because we do that internally to make sure that we're taking care of business. And when we do work with the sheriff's department, we've got sort of a record of that we can perpetuate that. And thanks to several of the folks that are in this room, we've actually covered down on several times that with that event, we've had a tip that maybe there was somebody that looked like that person seen on a job site. Somebody who will remain nameless drove me around the area, and they got out, checked it all out in a very non-confrontational way. They checked it out, and that report was not a positive or ID. So it turned out that that was not the person that had been thought to be somebody related to a theft that had happened the week before. And the whole idea is that the folks within this committee within this committee will look into it, and we'll do what we need to do.
I'll echo that with Larry. There is no information too small. If you just happen to see a glimpse of a vehicle that you didn't know was, I have seen someone under that description, just don't hesitate to reach out. We'll make it go into action the best we can.
And I just want to add that the cameras, the hardware and the software are antiquated. They're not supported anymore. It's time to let it go and get better technology and look for a good solution that's economical for our needs too. And we think we found something that we were surprised at how economical it can be and state of the art. So more to come on that. We're now at the point where members may make comments and ask questions, but please hold these to 3 minutes, please. Jim?
Yeah, one of your project mentioned were. Need you up here, sir, please.
Yeah, because we got several people watching on Zoom. We've got
Posterity. This project to cut low hanging branches, that were apparently impeding total lawn care from doing the mowing and all. I noticed on our corner lot, somebody did some trimming of branches and threw them up on our lot. Now, I didn't understand, but I guess the lot owners are responsible for getting rid of that stuff.
Just giving it back to the owner.
Yes. Yes.
What else? Didn't recognize you.
Just real quick, a couple of things. Sometime back, we were supposed to get a list of everyone that has sold their lots in the last 6 months, so I can check it against boat storage, and I would assume the website probably has the same concern, because right now the boat storage is totally full. So if we've got somebody that sold the lot and they're still in the boat storage, we need to get them out of there. Number two, real quick, like Bruce said, we've only got 70 boat ramp usage agreements back, which is probably kind of low. But if anybody sees somebody, and I've already had one come back like this, if you'll just take a picture of their Oyster Harbor sticker, like in their vehicle, and then the license plate on the trailer and send it to us, we'll reach out to Waccamaw. They can identify who that person is, and we can reach out to them, get them to fill out the form and get them a sticker. I don't think, well, it's early, but we haven't had anybody that shouldn't be here that I know of.
Bob, I gotta have a question. The sticker is on the trailer?
Yeah,
Okay, on the.
yeah, if you look on the port side of the trailer,
Okay.
on the stanchion that goes up by the winch, that's where we're placing all the stickers. And when we send one out to someone, we send them a picture of where it should go.
Thank you.
I'll
add something to your comment was,
Same thing is happening. If you see it, please help us. All we're trying to do is to make sure that the people that are using our amenities are entitled to our amenities. And just to try to give the community an update of how much usage we're getting, what's going on with it. And so we don't want you to confront anyone, but if you get a chance and you see them unload, just please shoot us a picture, shoot it to any board member or to Bob or anyone on the committee with Bruce, and it'll be taken care of the way it should be. And thank you guys for that.
And we'll get the information together about lots that have been sold.
Candy Sweat, I want to thank the Safety and Preparedness Committee. I went to that meeting and it was awesome. Our community has needed this for so long. And I'm so happy that y'all are doing such a good job. And secondly, I want this community to pray for Ann. Because, did you say?
And Audrey.
Yes.
Okay.
Derek passed away, and I didn't know that.
I know,
And he's the heart and soul of this community. I've on 2 committees with him. He loved the Pearl, and he loved boats and docks. And I'm gonna miss that golf cart ride at 5 o'clock.
So he rejuvenated that committee when he got on there. He made some really good ideas come to fruition.
Yes. So everyone, please pray for Ann. We've had a big loss.
Thank you, Candy. Thank you, Candy.
Those of y'all that didn't know it, anyone out there listening today, that Barry was one special, unique individual. He never walked away not telling you how he felt. But you know, he will definitely in this community.
Anyone else?
Yes.
Jack?
Bob actually led into a question I have about stickers. Are we still continuing to distribute windshield stickers to the members of the community and property owners? I heard that has been discontinued some time ago.
The number stickers?
The number stickers in the windshield, yes.
They are still available, they should, and it's a
Great point, something we certainly ought to go back and revisit. The only way to identify whether a vehicle is a property owner in this community is to have a sticker.
Yeah.
And same for the golf carts.
Okay.
Own property, and here you were issued a sticker. As the Oyster Harbor sticker for your windshield with a number on it identifies your vehicle to you. Okay, those were issued, and I heard that had stopped. And
I was with
Kimberly on Thursday, and a new resident came in and requested the sticker for the windshield, and also this was about 2 or 3 months ago when I saw Kim, so I don't think it's been discontinued. If it's well, I don't think
property owner should ask for, or is it something that should be given to the property owner once they become a property owner?
Well,
I mean, that should be part of the packet. That should be part of the packet. As the community is growing, I see more and more vehicles in here. We're talking about all the traffic that, and trying to identify, you know, where vehicles are, if they don't belong here. I think there would be another way to bring back what used to happen so we can identify who should or should not be here.
Thanks for cleaning that up. This board does not
voted to stop that, but we'll look into the policy, make sure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Right.
Anyone else?
One more.
Has there been any violations with the fishing since it started? Just a question I have since last time we had a policy, it was like they shut it down in 2 weeks. I'm just wondering if everything, how things are going. Has there been any? I'm not naming names or anything like that. I just.
Testing of rules, I would say yes. I received a call that said someone had already decided to go past the signage on one particular pond, and by the time I got that response, I said, please just, I need a picture, and if you ever see that or that, don't engage. Got your phone with you, take a picture, send it to me. It'll start a response from Waccamaw. But to answer your question, no. So far, I would tell you everything has gone extremely smooth. I am going to recognize and call out one of our newest members, Bill Adams, sent me an email. I'd love to send to the whole community for what he did, because he was talking about his catch of 10 bass and how much fun he had, and he was fly fishing, and he stayed within the boundaries and had a great time. So, yeah, excellent question. One no trash, picked up his stuff when he walked out. So I would say no.
The stickers on the cars, I think what had happened was originally they gave out those stickers with no numbers on them. And then when the policy came down for the parking in the water park, you had to have a number on your golf cart and one on your vehicle or it would be towed. So I think the ones that were disseminated without numbers on them that everybody got, they don't do that anymore. So you have to ask for one for the water park, for this number on it so that you don't get towed. So I think my car has one on 1 mile. So I think so you have to physically, you have to ask for one with the number on it so you don't get towed if you park on the water park.
We will follow up.
Another suggestion, something that we given to the contractors in light of what has transpired. For the contractors to give to their subcontractors to put in the windshield that signifies that they're working in Oyster Harbor. So that if I see a vehicle driving around here at night or on the day they're not supposed to be in here, because they could piggyback in here on any time, that may just be something of significance to say, hey, okay, you just have something in there that identifies a worker within our area, and we get, that's something I just wanted to bring up.
Almost like to use it.
You go past, you go play golf. This is drive careful. Just those strip of paper.
I'm just got kind of morphing here. These codes that they're getting to come in, the contractors, are they expiring?
They do have expiration.
They
dates.
do have expiration
They're
dates?
eligible for certain days, certain hours, and,
Okay, but they do self-expire and then you have to get a new one?
they handle that if they.
Okay, it's just something I wanted to.
Through the yard and walk them out,
Yeah.
and it's a time frame of the building, that every one of them's on a ticking clock when they
Okay.
start, and they're set up on that building permit through the yard. And then if they go over that, there's two ramifications. So first, they have to deal with the yard, but they have to reapply for an entry permit. That's the way I understand it's working.
Something when you're given the financial report about paying for the gate thing we shouldn't have, and you don't know why we did it, but I find that kind of alarming, just that statement. So could you clarify that for me?
Right now, I don't know the clarification. I don't know why it was paid in advance for the year. We're talking to Waccamaw about that now, why it happened, and how could it happen, and don't do it again. It surprised us.
We have an annual contract with Carolina Tire. And that contract is supposed to be paid monthly. But for whatever reason, they sent an entire annual contract billing,
Is it right there?
and he got paid.
Danny, if I may, that,
Absolutely.
if you don't mind, that we should have paid the entire contract in full, and we did. It was not set up properly on the accounting system as a prepaid so that it would expense 1/12 of it every month. Waccamaw is correcting that. That would have been the proper accounting procedure. So, yeah, we had to pay the whole bill. It's just that it got paid and wasn't set up properly on the accounting system.
Just while the numbers were close to that. Thanks, Judy.
So,
That's a great explanation. I just want to follow up. Do you give fly fishing lessons? Because I've always wanted to try to do that, so I appreciate that. I think that's a great way to fish. I've never been this way.
that's why I don't-
Good, good to know.
So don't try it at Heron.
I've had enough bad luck this year. I don't need any more. I'll look up with you about this.
Is there anyone up?
Oh, right.
Just real quick, I know that you guys mentioned that on the days that Waccamaw is here each week, that they're driving the community and looking for infractions. Is that occurring?
It's occurring, it's not the days that she's here, so it's when I come out, and drive through. I look for specific things such as, lawn maintenance.
It's like, the value of your home type of stuff in the front. I wouldn't really look for ARC violations unless it was something I could see that I would question, like, is that something you even allow type of thing? We don't really look for that type of thing. I would have to look for that, reported, or like, yes, we would look for trailers with no tires, tags, or vehicles in a driveway, like that, stuff like that, blatant. But mostly it's just from whatever we can see from the street in regards to how the community looks.
And you come out randomly, correct? I mean, as far as
Randomly.
this is not like any certain day.
Yeah.
It's a couple of times a month, and I would say that if you feel that there's an infraction that you've witnessed, call aboard the police.
And then one other thing,
We talked about the maintenance of the ponds and the mowing and everything. And I know the board decided to have a perimeter around the ponds, close to the pond for landscaping erosion. Is that something that's going to be looked at in a particular time frame as far as, how high are you going to allow the grass trimming?
It is almost
The landscaping contractor's schedule. Yes.
We'll say, IBIS, that buffer has grown. Yes. And that was the one that was done before.
It was the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is a lot. And I will say too, the fountain is actually in the correct place now. It's always been too far to one side, I guess with the water. Level. It is actually in the center of the pond now.
The depth of that thing varies, especially with that liner in there.
Anyone else?
Statement about the treasury report and supporting documentation will be posted on the website when Bert gets back from vacation.
I noticed in the ARC report that there was quite a few items listed there that I believe were under the purview of the modification committee. The modification committee did not do any inspections of all those items. Curious as to, is there still a modification committee? And why isn't the modification committee doing those type items they were tasked to do?
We've had a couple of
Board meetings about that. We're trying to determine, we have lost Bob Puglisi, he quit that committee. So I think there's, what's there, two of them left now, you and Jude.
Yes.
And the committee, modification committee, and we've also talked about calling it something else. We purposely created that committee for two reasons at the time. One was because Jeb was very ill and Will Richardson was preoccupied with his own occupation and Les was pretty much by himself. And he couldn't handle everything. Now that committee believes they can handle everything. It is also, they think, redundant to try to get something, send it off to the modification committee, review it. So there's been some discussion with the board. Do we still need that committee or not? They did all of that work. They did not assign any of it to your committee. What was the other reason created that committee?
It was to prepare people.
A training,
for
yes,
training.
yes.
So,
That the board 2 years ago determined that it would be a good, like a career ladder thing we would have in our working life. Train people so that when the need was made, when there was a need to recruit someone for the ARC, that some people were in the pipeline to do that. And so we're revisiting that as a board and as the ARC, because they feel that they don't need the help. We question whether about the training, wasn't that a good training exercise? So that's my explanation.
Yeah, we just recently met with the ARC, the board did, and it is under discussion of where that committee goes from here. Donna's just explained to the letter of why it was established. Now it's trying for the board to work through where that is. So under your question's fair, more than fair, but I could tell you right now that it's just under discussion and we're trying to figure it out.
so we met with them a couple of weeks ago, just recently, and covered several topics. That was one of them. So
Intense.
it's
And
I'll just say-
it's kind of another one of those, stay tuned, please.
The members of that committee knew what was going on. Since, we've been sitting here waiting 6 months or more for an assignment, haven't gotten one, while we see the ARC do the work we were assigned to do. The ARC tells us all the time they have 30 bills. Oh, we're so busy. But yet here, this committee sits with none of its task items to do.
We are grateful for your willingness to be there and to do that, and I promise you we are adjusting.
Thanks, Ruben.
Including the modifications committee you need.
Anyone else?
You're reading some stuff in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to read a few comments or questions from the chat. I did in the chat attempt to answer some of them, but I think we'd like the board to respond to any that aren't fully answered. So I would like to know how I can be made aware of the social activities that are scheduled and planned. All of the activities you listed in the beginning of the meeting, I would have liked to attend, but had no knowledge of. Kindly advise. Thank you. That was one part. Second, how may I obtain a car sticker to prove I belong when I want to use the amenities? And how might I access the Pearl publication? Someone replied, I was informed the sticker was just for the water park. I attempted to reply. The Pearl is emailed out to all Oyster Harbor community members on the email distribution list and is posted on the Oyster Harbor website. I also replied as the moderator, all social activities are emailed out to Oyster Harbor community members on the distribution list and posted on the Oyster Harbor website. And I also responded, the BOD is going to investigate the status of sticker use and distribution to residents. And I let them know that I was going to read these questions. It seems like the sticker use, obtaining the numbered sticker or for the water park or whatever, some clarification about the sticker use is needed at this time. I don't know if anyone on the board would like to respond to any of that, the people in the Zoom.
I'll try one. I want to follow up with me. I don't want anyone to get confused between the sticker that's being requested for boats and docks and the usage of the boat ramp. It is totally independent and different in a registration process for boat ramp usage, not water park usage. So the other part of that question would be the Oyster Harbor window sticker and or golf cart sticker. If you do not have one and you're currently a property owner and want to use the amenity, you need to contact Waccamaw and come by the office on Thursday when they're here. The communications committee, I know, has all of this information is up on the website. My concern of the things that I heard, not just in one request, was we keep having people fall in the holes of communication, and especially with the social events that are happening, because I know they're put out there very well. So if those are being missed and we're missing someone, we need them to update all their information for us so that we can follow up and get them, because we want them here. That's why we're doing it.
And update the Waccamaw is not the path. I mean, like this person here, if she's not getting e-blasts, then she's not on some.
She's on.
She's not on.
It's on our personal, just that.
She's on our website.
Okay. Well, she needs to get on that, obviously. Sure. Okay.
From the website, you can submit the request that would come to Bert to be sure that you are included in the email distribution and information. So that may be a step that's needed.
And if there's problems with that, let Kurt and or I know.
We'll work back with you guys to speak to them. Put that in as a link.
They don't have the username and password for the website. You need to get over.
Right. Absolutely. Great.
Of course, clarification too, there were 2 stickers that came out. They were
Perspective of the boat registration process some time ago. There was the standard Oyster Harbor windshield sticker that was used back when we had guards that would just wave you through with that sticker.
With no number.
With no number. The second part of that was to park in the amenities, whether you're a golf cart or a vehicle towing a boat, or you parked over there, you need one with a number. So that's all going to be worked out through the board here, just so that we're clarifying. There's actually 3 sticker sets out there now. More clarity coming.
Yeah. See any additional question now from the chat? So I'm assuming that covers everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay. The open session of the meeting is over. Is there a motion to move to executive session?
Motion.
Second?
Second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Our next meeting will be July 20 at 7 p.m. Thank you, everyone. Yes.